How you doing? I'm David Sanchisi, and I'm here to talk about the news of the day. I want to talk about how we have moms across America, big, strong, tough moms that are taking the fight to the Marxists and not allowing their children to be taught this Marxist racist ideology called critical race theory. We have moms throughout the country now heading into school boards, going to politicians and telling them they are not going to allow their children to be taught a racist ideology. For a country that came from where we were maybe 40, 50 years ago, we've come a long way to allow people to divide us again. People have died for our rights that we have today so we could all be as one, just as Americans. And yet we have people who are on the left trying to divide us when most of us do not believe what they're doing. We do not believe in the Marxist ideology, the fact that we're all different. Most of us believe that we are all and should be treated equally and are the same. When you have a certain portion of the country, and I do believe it's a smaller portion, but they control all the institutions, trying to separate us by race, we have to fight back. And that's what we have. Moms throughout our great nation not allowing this to happen. I want to read you the story, and it goes, how an army of pissed off moms are single-handedly destroying the left's Marxist plot. The one thing you don't want to do is mess with a mother and her children. There's something that happens inside a woman when she senses that her children are in danger. It's hard to explain how this type of protective nature works, but it's very primal, instinctual, and powerful. And that's precisely what's happening right now to scores of mothers across the country as they watch in horror as their children's educations are poisoned by anti-American, anti-white communist curriculum called critical race theory. Critical race theory is a theoretical framework that is rooted in Marxism. It imagines individuals as either oppressed or the oppressor, solely based on the color of their skin. CRT claims if you are black, you're automatically an oppressed person, and if you're white, you're a natural born oppressor. When it comes to critical race theory, there are no gray areas. It's black and white, pun intended. CRT is a toxic anti-white communist ideology that schools are packaging and pumping into the impressionable minds of our nation's children. It's a lethal concoction designed to create a Democrat voting base from cradle to grave, and it's packaged to the parents as compassionate education. The reality is that CRT is creating a generation of radicalized political zombies, and that is why American mothers are mad as hell and fighting back. And thankfully, this army of pissed off mama bears are winning the war against the demonic left-wing ideology that's being used as a weapon of mass destruction against their children. I just want to say this before I finish reading this. How anyone, even if you're a liberal and you're a white liberal, and how could you sit there and say that you yourself are an oppressor, admitting to you're doing something wrong? So, in other words, you're saying anyone white that would have to include you is an oppressor. Does it not? So you're saying everyone but you or anyone who thinks like you is an oppressor, which is beyond ridiculous. The things, I'm a male Hispanic, and it bothers me because they are the ones who are the racists telling me that people I know, my family, can get voter ID. They tell me I'm not smart enough, or my children aren't smart enough to compete with someone just because of the race of who they are. That is everything we fought against in the 60s. That is everything we fought against as Americans. To bring us back to see what we fought against is just disturbing to me. I don't know any other way to put it than say, how can you fight against this, or for this, I should say? How could you fight for this as a person of color, and then not knowing what could happen down the road and all this could turn against you? Bottom line, how could you support something that goes against innocent Americans that have nothing to do what happened in the past or what is going on now, and try to suppress how they feel about themselves, especially children. Children aren't the problem. If there is racism in this country, it's from people who are adults. Children aren't the ones perpetrating any type of racism in this world. So why would you teach kids to hate themselves, to hate others because of the color of their skin? It goes against everything we as Americans stand for. To bring us back 60 years, I thought you were called progressives. You're regressives because you're taking us back to a place none of us want to go. So if you're a person who has a school board that's involved in this, you need to get to those meetings and do as these mothers are doing. I want to show you some videos of what it is. Just so anyone that is, I guess, I don't even like to use that term, but is a white American and thinks you're in this fight by yourself, I want to show you there's people across America who are not white, who are fighting for this or fighting against this. I want to show you this video right now of this black American who went to a school board in Virginia and said she's not standing for this. I want to show you this video. Check it out if you didn't see it already.
In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now I have a dream that we will implement love, not hate, or supporting another Jim Crow's agenda. CRT is not an honest dialogue. It is a tactic that was used by Hitler and the Ku Klux Klan on slavery very many years ago to dumb down my ancestors, so we could not think for ourselves. CRT is racist. It is abusive. It discriminates against one's color. Let me educate you. An honest dialogue does not oppress. An honest dialogue does not implement hatred or injustice. It's to communicate without deceiving people. Today we don't need your agreement. We want action and a backbone for what we asked for today, to ban CRT. We don't want your political advertisement to divide our children or belittle them. Think twice before you indoctrinate such racist theories. You cannot tell me what is or is not racist. Look at me. I had to come down here today to tell you to your face that we are coming together and we are strong. This will not be the last. Greet and meet respectfully.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. I want to show you some more videos just to show you that we as Americans are in this together. Look at this one right here.
I've been very alarmed about what's going on in our school. You are now training our children to be social justice warriors and to loathe our country and our history. Growing up in Mao's China, all this seemed very familiar. The communist regime used the same critical theory to divide people. The only difference is they use class instead of race. During the Cultural Revolution, I witnessed students and teachers turn against each other. We changed school names to be politically correct. We were taught to denounce our heritage. The Red Guards destroy anything that is not communist, old statues, books, and anything else. We are also encouraged to report on each other, just like the Student Equity Ambassador Program and the bias reporting system. This is indeed the American version of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. The critical race theory has its roots in cultural Marxism. It should have no place in our school.
And I don't know if you saw this video, but this was awesome. I'm gonna show you just a short portion because this is a long one, but this woman in Carmel, New York was awesome.
Good evening. My name is Tatiana Ibrahim, and I'm here for the first time. I'm here tonight not only as a community member, but as a parent in this district. Recently, you sent out a survey wanting to know why parents were not voting yes for this budget. So my situation, my vote for no is a little different. I think the Board of Education and those sitting on the panels are thieves. I think they're liars and have committed treason against our children. My message to this district and the members of the Board of Ed: stop indoctrinating our children. Stop teaching our children to hate the police. Stop teaching our children that if they don't agree with the LGBT community, that they're homophobic. You have no idea each child's life. You don't know what their family lifestyle consists of. You don't know the makeup of their life. You have children like mine who is Muslim, and I'm Christian, and everyone would think, they would never believe that of her, right? Because the way she looks, or according to Miss Cyrus, she's too pasty white. Ma'am, excuse me, up here. We're not allowed to use names. If you have something you'd like to discuss about a specific person, you can call the superintendent or leave your info for her to call you tomorrow. Why are we not allowed to discuss names? Why am I not allowed when they purposely themselves expose themselves on social media, talking about calling for the death of a former president, or saying that any child that doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter should be canceled out? Is this what my tax dollars is paying for? You're teaching my children and other children that if they believe in God Almighty, they're part of a cult. These educators put their own names out there. We have Mr. Berry, who took it upon himself with Miss Cyrus to create a curriculum.
That should be it.
Do you want the proof? I have the proof. You created a curriculum.
I just want to show you a brief video on that. If you can find her on the net, that is one of the most powerful videos I've seen. You got to take a look at it. I want to show you another one here.
Loudoun County, Virginia, where fed-up parents there have launched a fiery new ad campaign calling out critical race theory in classrooms, aiming to oust 6 school board members who they say tried to target and silence them.
Infecting our schools with critical race theory, training teachers that Christians are oppressors. One school board member even endorsed an official committee to, quote, silence the opposition. Parents and teachers are fighting back. They're recalling the 6 school board members who stood by and did nothing while parents were targeted.
Well, that's part of the ad. 2 Loudoun County moms join us right now. Alicia Brandy is a mother of 3 who actually pulled her kids out of the public schools in Loudoun County this year. And Cheryl Onderchain, also a mother of 3 and a member of Loudoun's Parents for Education. Lady, good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, so Alicia, ultimately this all started, you don't want...
I don't want to cut them off, but I just want to show you that there's people out there fighting. If you are a person who has been sitting on the sidelines asking yourself, what can I do to get involved? What can I do to get in the fight? And I've talked about this many times on my videos, and I say there's things you can do, whether it's writing letters, making phone calls, and many of you have been doing that. But this right here is where the fight is. We have to get into the school boards, and we cannot allow this CRT theory to fester. We have to stop it in its tracks now, or we're going to have a country of lunatic children that turn into lunatic adults that will bring down the United States of America, and that's the whole plan. I want to show you another one. There's tons of them on here. There's a few of them on here. I want to show you one more that was pretty upsetting to watch also, but another fighter right here. And check it out.
She came to your school when she procures bids for ISU with construction and came to your school and spoke to your staff for 2 straight days. Why did she do that? This is why she did that. This is why she did that. To make sure that when our students want to know whether or not they have a vagina or a penis, they have pictures from your staff to be able to help them. They don't have enough sex. They don't have enough anal sex. They need adults to tell them how to masturbate. And what I call that is true. So here's what I'm asking. You have a hard time hearing this from me, but this is for 10 years old and up, and this bill was passed for 5-year-olds. And you have a hard time me sitting here telling you the words anal sex, masturbation. That's hard for you, or the time's up? Because the time's not really up. I don't believe you, Mr. Wiley, that my time is up. But I'm going to end with this. I'll close with this, because this was too much for you, I can tell right now, and that's why you're cutting me off. But last time I said, you know what? Critical race theory. Little girl in the back was laughing every single time Megan said something because white people oppress black people, right? Isn't your principal black? Isn't your mayor black? Now I would like to introduce to you Ty Smith.
Just to show you, people have had it. People are fed up. And you have to get in the fight. Sorry about that. You have to get in the fight now, people, before it's too late. So, as I said, many of you wonder, what can you do? What is your part? And right there is your part. Get involved in your school board. Go to community board meetings. Get involved. We can fight this war and win it without violence. We just have to start removing people, telling people we're not standing for this. There are more of us than them. We cannot turn our backs on Americans based on race. We have to help each other. Throughout the history of this country, there have always been people who have fought for people who are being discriminated against, for people who are being ostracized because of their race or color. Sure, you had people who did oppressing, but there was always people who fought side by side with those who were being oppressed. And right now is the time to get in the fight and not allow for our fellow Americans to be subjected to this nonsense, this hate. So I just want to put that out there. I want to say thank you for watching. God bless America. God bless all of you. And God bless our president, Donald J. Trump, who has exposed this hateful ideology known as Marxism. Thanks for watching.